Hey guys, it's Christian here, and today we have to talk about a lot. Today we're doing three big things in one video: DGA nominations, BAFTA long list, and PGA nominations. But before we get into this, please like and subscribe and tell me what you think of this live stream. So the Oscar race just got busier and busier. With yesterday we got the Directors Guild nominations, and today we got BAFTA long list and PGA nominations. Um, so yeah, this may be a lengthy live stream. So yeah, I think because we have a lot in that want to make sure my community post got out so that way people know that I'm live and stuff. Yeah, my post just got out, so hopefully some people join the chat shoot. So hopefully some people join the chat soon. But I say we just start with DGA because those happened first. So the DGA nominations were yesterday. I feel like DGA is going to be the shortest because I feel like the bulk of my best director conversation is going to come with the BAFTA long list. So DGA probably won't last too long, but it's still very important in determining the best director race at the Oscars. So yeah, without further ado, just get right into the nominees. So the nominees for the main category for feature film are Paul Thomas Anderson, One Battle After Another, Ryan Coogler, Sinners, Guillermo del Toro, Frankenstein, Josh Safdie, Marty Supreme, and Chloe Zhao, Hamnet. That was the five I predicted. That's the five most people predicted, I'm pretty sure. The only other person I was really considering was Joachim Trier. I had him at number 6 for sentimental value. However, I knew, after sentimental value got no SAG nominations, I had a feeling it was just going to be, Del Toro, Safdie, Zhao, and obviously I knew Coogler and PTA were obviously happening. Congratulations on getting 4 out of 5. It's still quite good. Yeah, this was the top 5. I think this is the best picture 5, to be honest. This was the 5 at SAG Ensemble. We'll see if it's going to be the BAFTA Best Film 5. We'll see. But I feel like this is going to be the Best Picture 5. Whether or not it will be the Best Director 5, who knows? We're going to talk more about that when we get to the BAFTAs because I think they did a lot. And then we'll talk about Best First-Time Theatrical Feature Film. The nominees are Hassan Haiti, The President's Cake, Harry Lighton, Pillion, Alex Russell, Lurker, Charlie Pollinger, The Plague, and Eva Victor for Sorry Baby. Okay, so I got 3 out of 5. The 2 I didn't predict here were Lurker and Pillion. I predicted I had my predictions up. I had predicted Urchin, which is directed by Harris Dickinson, and My Father's Shadow, which I don't remember who Akinola Davies Jr., the director of My Father's Shadow. And then Urchin was directed by actor Harris Dickinson. But I predicted those, but that did not pan out. So yeah. We're gonna get to that when we get to that, but these were the DGA nominees. The only one I've really heard, well, I know what The Plague, actually I've heard of all these movies. Although the one I feel like Sorry Baby is probably gonna win that. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to talk about for DGA. Very quick. But now we have other things to talk about because it's time for BAFTA long lists. These were announced early this morning, like 7 in the morning. So I feel like these were. So I feel like we're gonna talk about those next. But hold on, I just want to unshare my Directors Guild and then I want to get the BAFTA long lists up. I have all the tabs up. It's just gonna take a little bit longer to get them up because I'm not just going because I have them all up separately. We had BAFTA long list time. I'm gonna have my Oscar predictions up so I can say major stuff that missed for every category. So yeah, we should just get right into this because this is probably gonna be our longest segment of the day, really. So best film movies shortlisted are The Ballad of Wallace Island, Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, I Swear, Marty Supreme, Nuremberg, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. I'd say we should just talk about this is really a game of what's not here. We gotta talk about the secret. Yeah, Secret Agent. It was just an accident. No other choice. Only one neon movie with sentimental value. It was just an accident. Missing is huge. Like I didn't even expect that, but it happened. Secret Agent. I think I kind of like was wondering, but accident not getting it is huge. Like I was expecting at least 2 neon movies, but now there's only one. We'll see if this means anything for the Oscar. I still like we're gonna talk more about the Best Picture category when we talk about PGA, but the fact that none of those made it, I don't think they're dead. It's just like they're like it's not great that they missed. I think though No Other Choice is dead. I feel like that's not getting Best Picture. I don't think that's getting Screenplay. Yeah, Begonia's locked. Begonia's absolutely locked. I think it's number 7. Begonia, as you're going to see, had a huge showing here. Obviously, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle, Sentimental Value, and Sinners are locks as well. The Ballad of Wallace Island, I Swear, and Nuremberg are all British movies, I'm pretty sure. I know I Swear is definitely British. I think it's about like a guy with Tourette syndrome or something. I know it's definitely a British movie. Ballad of Wallace Island is also British. That has Carey Mulligan in it. So yeah, they went with mostly British movies and shut out most of the international movies. Other stuff that didn't get in, but not as big of a deal. No Weapons, no F1, no Wicked, no Blue Moon, no J. Kelly, no Avatar. Like this is just random stuff. I mean, I didn't really expect any of these. I kind of wouldn't have been too surprised if they did Blue Moon, but none of these other ones made a lot of sense. I knew they weren't gonna touch Wicked or Weapons or F1 or Avatar, and any of the blockbusters really. So we're going to talk about Best Picture even more when we talk about PGA, and I kind of feel like we can talk a little more about like the status of the Secret Agent, and it was just an accident there. I feel like No Other Choice is just dead. Like today just killed it. You're going to see like it's horrible in these long lists. But yeah, Accident and Secret Agent still have a shot. I feel like, but we're going to get more into that when we get to BAFTA. Oh, also, Train Dreams didn't make it. That's another one that missed. Although I wasn't sure if I was really expecting that anyway. So, yeah. Next is Outstanding British Films. All the British movies are here. 28 Years Later, Ballad of a Small Player, The Ballad of Wallace Island, Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy, The Coral, Die My Love, Goodbye June. I think that's directed by Kate Winslet. H is for Hawk, Hamnet, I Swear, Mr. Burden, Pillion, The Roses, Steve, and Warfare. The Testament of Van Lee is probably the biggest one. Oh no, Anemone. I forgot that movie even existed, to be honest. But yeah, Testament of Van Lee's not here. You're gonna see that had a horrendous showing. You're gonna see. Van Lee's been dead for a while, but it's way under the ground at this point. I can't even get Best British Movie. I'm pretty sure it was a British film, so the fact that it's not even on a long list of 15 is really bad. We can talk about Outstanding Debut. The Ceremony, The Man in My Basement, Mother Vera, My Father's Shadow, Pillion, Ocean with David Attenborough, The Shadow Scholars, Urchin, A Want in Her, and Wasteman. Don't really have much to say there. Children and Family, that's pretty much just animation movies. I'm probably going to skip that one, and we'll just talk about animated feature when we talk about that. But you can pause real quick if you want to read it. Film not in the English language. It was just an accident. La Gracia, Left-Handed Girl, No Other Choice, Nouvelle Vague, Rental Family, Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Surat, and The Voice of Hinder Job. I actually just watched Nouvelle Vague last night. I really wasn't that much of a fan of it. I feel like it was so boring. It was so dull. The cinematography was nice in Nouvelle Vague, but I don't really think that was very good. Hopefully the other Richard Linklater movie, Blue Moon, hopefully once I watch that one's way better. Lilo and Stitch, LOL. Anything not here? I'm gonna pull up my Oscar predictions just to see. Bellon's not here. Kokuho's not here. The President's Cake. Not huge stuff though. Mostly everything major made it. So yeah, Accident. No, this was only no other choices. Only appearance here. Rental Family, interesting. Secret Agent, Accident. Pretty much all the Neon movies showed up. Yeah, so pretty much all the snubs weren't that huge. Documentary. 2,000 meters to Angelica. Apocalypse in the Tropics. Becoming Led Zeppelin. Cover Up, The Librarians. Mr. Nobody Against Putin. Ocean with David Attenborough. 1-to-1 John and Yoko. Perfect Neighbor, and Riefenstahl. I'll probably butcher that, but I'm gonna go with Riefenstahl. A lot of British stuff here. I noticed like they seem to like to shortlist stuff with documentaries about British people. I noticed Led Zeppelin, David Attenborough, John Lennon, and Yoko Ono. I'll go on to my predictions just to like see if there's any major shutouts here. Come See Me in the Good Light, not there. The Alabama Solution, not there. Seeds, not there. My Undesirable Friends Part 1, Last Air in Moscow, not there. That's like a 5-hour documentary. If you go beyond the short list, they ain't long list. Put your soul on your hand and walk. Tale of Cillian, none of those showed up. So yeah. But like most of the big ones made it. 2,000 meters to Andrivka, Perfect Neighbor. Perfect Neighbor is actually very good. I actually watched that. It was one of my favorite movies from last year. I thought it was fantastic. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about documentary. Now we're gonna go on to animated film. Very short. This one's only 6 movies, and the nominees are only 4. I'm pretty sure. So we have Arco, The Bad Guys 2, Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, Infinity Castle, Elio, Little Amelie, or The Character of Rain, and Zootopia 2. So K-pop Demon Hunters was not eligible. I'm pretty sure it was not. Yeah, I don't think K-pop was eligible, so that's why that's not there. So yeah, that doesn't mean anything, but so yeah. I feel like that's still going to win everywhere else it's nominated, so yeah. In Your Dreams, not there from Netflix. The Twit's not there from Netflix. Scarlet, I don't even know if that was eligible or not. But yeah, I think the animated feature 5 is really easy. It's going to be K-pop, and then it's going to be what I think is the BAFTA 4, which I think is going to be Arco, Elio, Little Amelie, and Zootopia 2. I'm not sure. It could just... Are they going to go like indie and go with Little Amelie, or are they going to like just go with Zootopia 2? Like, I'm not sure. I feel like this year K-pop's just winning the Oscar, but so I feel like what everyone's here is going to be the runner-up, so we'll just have to see. I think the next one's huge. Best Director. So this is 10 people, 5 men, 5 women. So, yeah. So we have Yorgos Lanthimos, Begonia, Lynn Ramsey, Die My Love, Chloe Zhao, Hamnet, Catherine Bigelow, A House of Dynamite, Josh Safdie, Marty Supreme, Paul Thomas Anderson, One Battle After Another, Hikari, Rental Family, Joachim Trier, Sentimental Value, Ryan Coogler, Sinners, and Kauter Ben Hania, The Voice of High Job. So no Jafar Panahi and no Guillermo del Toro. Those are probably the biggest snubs, I'd say. No Kleber Mendoza Filo for Secret Agent, no Park Chan-wook. However, Panahi and Del Toro we have to talk about. No, Josh Safdie did make it. He did make it. He's there. Del Toro missing though. I was so scared that he was gonna make the long list, and I would have to like take out Safdie or Ryan Coogler for my director predictions at the Oscars. For context, my director 5 before DGA and before BAFTA long list. It didn't change after DGA, but before the BAFTA long list, I had Paul Thomas Anderson, I had Jafar Panahi, I had Joachim Trier, I had Ryan Coogler, and I had Josh Safdie. I was afraid Guillermo del Toro was going to take out Safdie or Coogler on the long list, so I'd have to take one of them out for Chloe Zhao at the Oscars. But del Toro's not here. Worst case scenario, he's James Mangold, where it's a veteran director. Their movie is very strong. Their movie is like getting a ton of nominations. They get DGA. They miss the BAFTA long list, but they still get the Oscar nomination. However, without a BAFTA long list, I'm not going to predict Del Toro. I think Panahi. I feel like this is not a great snub for Panahi. I feel like he needed this, but I think the biggest thing you can compare it to, I guess, is Ruben Östlund for Triangle of Sadness. He didn't get the long list, but he still got in the Oscar nomination with no precursors. So you just have to assume, like, if it was just an accident, it still makes it in the Best Picture, which I kind of still feel like it's going to, then they might still nominate Panay, because I feel like it just makes so much sense for the director's branch to go for it. But Chloe Zhao, I think she may be out. I think obviously Paul Thomas Anderson's in. I think Joachim Trier's in. He's the big can director that everyone has to have in. You can have Panay in if you want to, but Trier's absolutely getting in. Ryan Coogler's getting in because he has not missed a single thing. I was a little worried he was going to miss here, but because he didn't, he literally hasn't missed a beat. I think he's absolutely in. And Josh Safdie, I feel like most people are still going to say no, but listen, Marty Supreme is very stylistic. It's a very stylistic movie. It's very well directed. With the movie being super stylistic, and Marty Supreme is peaking at the right time. It wasn't peaking back with Golden Globe and Critics' Choice nominations. Safdie was not nominated at the Golden Globes. That's the only place he's missed at. But now that it's come out, it's getting more nominations. Like Odessa Zion got a SAG nomination. Got nominated at the American Society of Cinematographers. Safdie got a DGA nomination. It got longlisted pretty much everywhere it could have at the BAFTAs. So I feel like with all this hype that Marty Supreme is getting and how it's really at its peak right now when it comes to getting awards, I don't think that peak is all of a sudden going to stop with the Oscar nominations, which is why I actually feel like Safdie is absolutely getting in. He reminds me of Todd Field for Tar, where he missed the Globe, but then got Critics' Choice, BAFTA, and DGA. I think we can assume that the BAFTA lineup is going to be the 5 men, Chloe Zhao. So, yeah, Yorgos Lanthimos is probably going to get in, which he deserves it. I just watched Begonia, and it was amazing. So he would deserve a nomination, but I can assume that's going to be the BAFTA lineup. Obviously, we won't know until after Oscar nominations, but yeah. So I feel pretty good about that top 4, and then the 5th slot, I think you can either say it's Chloe Zhao or it's Jafar Panahi. If you want to play it really safe and go 4 out of 5 with DGA, I would recommend predicting Zhao. However, I feel like I feel like Marty Supreme and Sinners may just have a little more passion than Hamnet, and I feel like Accident may have enough passion to get Panahi in there still. So for now, I still think Panahi's the 5th slot, and Chloe Zhao is gonna miss. I feel like her missing could be kind of comparable to like when Edward Berger missed for Conclave or Martin McDonough missed for 3 Billboards. I kind of feel like it could be something like that, especially because I feel like Sinners and Marty Supreme have a little more passion. So I'm predicting that Zhao and Guillermo del Toro are going to be the 2 DGA snubs, and it's going to be PTA, Trier, Coogler, Safdie, and Panahi. But Zhao still makes sense. She has everything so far. I think she still makes sense. Del Toro, I really feel like he's number 7, although weirdly maybe. But without BAFTA longlist, I just can't predict him. I'm not going to predict him. I feel like everyone else just has a better case to make. Yorgos Lanthimos getting an Oscar nomination would be pretty interesting. I wouldn't mind it. I thought it was very well directed. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm still gonna go on a limb and say Panahi, go 3 out of 5 with DGA. Over, it would make sense for Chloe Zhao to get in. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about director. Kind of interesting that Panahi didn't get in, but maybe the Oscars still go for him, or maybe they just go 4 out of 5 with DGA and take out Del Toro for Trier. I don't know if they really care about that because they've awarded villain performances before. I'm actually predicting that the Oscars will do that again with Sean Penn. Spoiler alert, but we'll see. But yeah, I think Sean makes sense, but I feel like Benai is still going to get in. Assuming that Accident has enough passion for Best Picture, which I kind of still feel like it's going to. Best Original Screenplay. I pretty much talked about who missed director. But Best Original Screenplay, Blue Moon, A House of Dynamite, I Swear, Is This Thing On? It Was Just an Accident, Marty Supreme, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Weapons. So Secret Agent and It Was Just an Accident do get the long list here, despite missing in picture and other categories which we get into. But They were still able to make screenplay. Snubs. There's only really one big one. Well, and it's that Jay Kelly. We know there's two. Jay Kelly's not there, and Sorry Baby's not there. Jay Kelly's so dead. I mean, it's so dead. And Sorry Baby, that's not getting in. I feel like it would be a lone screenplay nominee. Yeah. I feel like the fifth slot at the Oscars is either going to be Blue Moon, Secret Agent, or Weapons. And because I kind of still feel like there's a path for Secret Agent to get Best Picture, I feel like it makes sense for screenplay to come along. But obviously, I think Weapons could happen. I think Blue Moon is possible. Obviously, the locks here are Accident, Marty, Supreme, Sentimental Value, Sinners. We'll see if Accident gets in here because they didn't really love it too much. But I kind of still feel like it's going to. The BAFTAs usually aren't that crazy in screenplay, so I kind of expect them to nominate Accident still. They may nominate something British like I Swear. So yeah. That's pretty much all I have to say about screenplay. Adapted screenplays next. 28 years later, The Ballad of Wallace Island, Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Nuremberg, One Battle After Another, Pelion, Train Dreams, and Wake Up Dead Man and Eyes Out Mystery. There's one big snub here. No Other Choice, not there. No Other Choice is so gone for screenplay. That's so dead. Wicked for Good's not there, but that's not a big deal. The only really big one is No Other Choice. Didn't show up. Wake Up Dead Man still made it. That's interesting because that's just been so absent this season. Anyway, I really feel like the Oscar 5 is obvious. It's gonna be Begonia. It's gonna be Frankenstein. It's gonna be Hamnet. It's gonna be One Battle. It's gonna be Train Dreams. That's the Oscar 5. No Other Choice is so done. Like that couldn't even get screenplay. That's something that that's at least something that Secret Agent and It Was Just an Accident have, but No Other Choice couldn't even get screenplay. Interesting. Yeah, that's pretty much all I'd say about adapted screenplay. Aside from No Other Choice and like Jay Kelly and Sorry Baby, they didn't really pull too many surprises. All the big stuff pretty much made it. So yeah. That said, let's get to Best Actress. There's a big omission here, which we'll get to. Jessie Buckley, Hamnet. Rose Byrne, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Cynthia Erivo, Wicked for Good. Kate Hudson, Songs on Blue. Chase Infinity, One Battle After Another. Jennifer Lawrence, Die My Love. Renata Reinsva, Sentimental Value. Andrea Riseborough, Dragonfly. Emma Stone, Begonia. And Tessa Thompson, Hedda. No Amanda Seyfried. Seyfried's not there. She's gone. She's not getting the Oscar nomination. Annalie's getting this many Oscar nominations. It's getting the goose egg. I feel like she was maybe like the one thing that could still get in. No, she's out. I think she's this year's Angelina Jolie for Maria. She got Critics' Choice nominated, Golden Globe nominated, and Miss SAG and missed the BAFTA Longlist. I knew she was gonna miss SAG, but the fact that BAFTA Longlist couldn't even do it, she's just long gone. I kind of feel like the Oscar 5 is pretty straightforward. I kind of feel like it's just going to be Jessie Buckley, Rose Byrne, Chase Infinity, Renata Reinsva, Emma Stone. I guess Kate Hudson, like maybe she's like Annette Bening, although she could also be like Pamela Anderson for Last Showgirl. But yeah, I feel like the current consensus 5 makes sense. Erivo still managed to get in here. She's not getting the Oscar nomination, but she still managed to get the long list here. Andrea Riseborough, Dragonfly. I think that's a British movie. I'm pretty sure. Tessa Thompson made it for Hedda. Jennifer Lawrence made it for Die My Love. Pretty much the Oscar 5 made it. We'll see if that actually ends up being the Oscar 5. Wait, no, because I think Kate Hudson's number 6. So the Oscar 5 is definitely in here somewhere. It's just I feel like with Chase Infinity, One Battle After Another is just so strong that she'll probably just still get it anyway. And the other 4 haven't shown any weakness. Well, no, that's not true. Renata Reinsva missed SAG, but that seems like the thing that the Oscars could redeem because BAFTA is totally gonna nominate her. We won't know for sure, although we know for sure that they're gonna nominate her. So yeah. She could be Pamela Anderson too. That's what I'm saying. Like Annette Bening had Netflix. She had Jodie Foster who was getting nominated. Kate Hudson. I mean, Focus Features already has Jessie Buckley and Emma Stone, and Songs on Blue is not getting any other nominations. So I kind of feel like she's number 6, but I guess it's not impossible. Now we can move on to lead actor. Robert Aramayo, I Swear, Timothy Chalamet, Marty Supreme, Russell Crowe, Nuremberg, Leonardo DiCaprio, One Battle After Another, Joel Edgerton, Train Dreams, Ethan Hawke, Blue Moon, Michael B. Jordan, Sinners, Harry Melling, Pillion, Cillian Murphy, Steve, and Jesse Plemons, Begonia. No Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent. That's a huge omission. Less big, but no George Clooney, Jay Kelly, no Dwayne Johnson, Smashing Machine. Those two are just long gone. But no Wagner Moura is interesting. I really feel like with Wagner Moura's at the Golden Globes is going to determine the Secret Agent's award season. I kind of feel like if he loses the Golden Globe, Secret Agent may just be an international feature nominee at the Oscars. But if he wins the Golden Globe, I kind of feel like enough people, his Golden Globe win and the speech he gives, it's gonna encourage enough of the Academy voters to see the film. Oh, Daniel Day-Lewis is not there. Interesting. Yeah, Anemone's just such a non-movie though. It's so dead. But yeah, Wagner Moura. I think if he wins the Golden Globe, it's gonna propel Oscar voters to see the film, see the Secret Agent, and if they really love Secret Agent, they're gonna vote for it, and it could get nominated for Best Picture. So I feel like if he wins, Secret Agent could be fine in Best Picture. We'll see if it gets any other nominations. Well, obviously it's getting an international feature, but we'll see if it gets original screenplay. I feel like if it gets original screenplay, that's going to be the hint that Secret Agent's fine, but I guess it doesn't have to. Yeah, Wagner Moura at the Golden Globes, I think, is going to determine the rest of the Secret Agent's award season. And if he loses at the Golden Globe, I'm probably going to take him out for Jesse Plemons. Right now, I think Timothy Chalamet, Leonardo DiCaprio, Ethan Hawke, and Michael B. Jordan are all getting in. However, that fifth slot, it's between Wagner Moura and Jesse Plemons. If Moura wins the Golden Globe, I still think it's going to be him. If he loses, I kind of feel like it's going to be Plemons. Maybe there's a world where Plemons takes out Michael B. Jordan or Ethan Hawke, although I wouldn't predict that because they haven't missed a beat. And there aren't really any other big snubs besides, Clooney and Dwayne Johnson are not huge snubs. It kind of could be like how Margot Robbie missed for Barbie, especially because I think Wumi Masaku's totally getting in, so it would be like the lead actor misses, but then the supporting performance gets in. However, I just can't predict that. He hasn't missed a beat. I feel like, especially because Wumi Masaku's also getting in, they can get in together. I feel like Sanders is on track to get maybe over 14 Oscar nominations. We'll see. And Michael B. Jordan's a part of that package. And he's also in a Best Picture nominee, so I feel like he makes a ton of sense to have him, and he hasn't missed a beat. So I'll just go with the consensus 5 right now, although I'm really watching out for Plemons because he's probably going to get nominated here. We'll see if that ends up being true after Oscar nominations, although I think he's getting nominated here, and he got the SAG nomination, so I think Best Actor, it's really just those 6 fighting for 5 slots. And I feel like the 5th slot's going to come down to whether or not Moore wins the Golden Globe on Sunday. So yeah. Best Supporting Actress, Odessa Zion, Marty Supreme, Brenda Blethyn, Dragonfly, Ariana Grande, Wicked for Good, Inga, Its Daughter They Lust, Sentimental Value, Amy Madigan, Weapons, Wumi Masaku, Sinners, Carey Mulligan, The Ballad of Wallace Island, Gwyneth Paltrow, Marty Supreme, Tiana Taylor, One Battle After Another, and Emily Watson, Hamlet. There was a huge snub here. Let's see. Let me pull it up. Noelle Fanning. Noelle Fanning's she's out. She's out. I knew she was out when SAG completely shut out Sentimental Value because I did not know how SAG was going to go 0 for 4 with Sentimental Value. Yet the Oscars were going to go 4 out of 4. She's probably great in the movie. I haven't seen it yet, but I feel like she's just not happening. And the BAFTA Longlists really hurts her. I feel like. So I feel like the top 4 for the Oscars, I think it's Lilas, Madigan, Masaku, and Taylor. All of them are getting in. And for the 5th slot, I guess you could pick anyone. You could pick Ariana Grande if you want to. You could pick Odessa Zion. You can even pick Gwyneth Paltrow and say she's going to leapfrog over Odessa Zion. I feel like Zion makes the most sense. She just got the SAG nomination. I kind of feel like she's going to get this BAFTA nomination as well. So, and the movie's surging, so I feel like she makes sense. Although I guess in some fantasy land, I guess I mean, Paltrow could leapfrog over her, like how Judi Dench leapfrogged over Katrina Balfe for Belfast. Judd Hirsch leapfrogged over Paul Dano for The Fablemans. Michael Shannon leapfrogged over Aaron Taylor Johnson for Nocturnal Animals. I guess it could be like that, but I'm not going to predict that. I feel like Ariana Grande, although she hasn't missed anything yet, I feel like Wicked for Good's just so like not in the best picture conversation that I could see her going down with the movie. Although I guess it's not impossible, but I just feel like no. And in the Oscar 5, it's going to be Zion, it's going to be Lilas, it's going to be Madigan, it's going to be Masako, it's going to be Taylor. And we'll see if that ends up being true. Absolutely, Inga's way stronger than Elle Fanning. That's pretty much all I'd say about supporting actress. Emily Blunt didn't get in, but that's not a huge snub. So yeah, we all knew she was gone. So yeah, with all that said, I mean, I kind of feel like they're different. Monica Barbaro was like singing and playing Joan Baez, and I actually feel like that Augusta Zion's gonna get both SAG. I mean, she already has SAG, and I think she's gonna get the BAFTA nomination too. And then the sixth slot, they can either go British and go with Emily Watson, or they can go like really normal and go with Ariana Grande. I kind of feel like they may do Emily Watson, and that may be the sign that Grande. I think she's gonna miss the Oscar, and then we're gonna see BAFTA snubbed her, so that's where that came from. So yeah, I think she's getting the Oscar nomination. I feel like Marty Supreme, like everywhere, like it does better than it did at Golden Globe and Critics' Choice, because at Golden Globe and Critics' Choice, they didn't nominate any of the actresses, the supporting actresses. No, Augusta Zion has that SAG nomination. I don't think that's just a nothing thing. I feel like that's a big deal that she got that. And now she has the BAFTA Longlists. She can get nominated at the BAFTAs as well. Supporting actor, we have Benicio del Toro, One Battle After Another, Jacob Elordi, Frankenstein, Delroy Lindo, Sinners, Paul Mescal, Hamnet, Peter Mullen, I Swear, Sean Penn, One Battle After Another, Adam Sandler, Jay Kelly, Andrew Scott, Blue Moon, Alexander Skarsgård, Pelion, and Stellan Skarsgård, Sentimental Value. Snubs. Miles Caton wasn't longlisted for Sinners. That's a little disappointing. They did shortlist Delroy Lindo, but no Miles Caton. Unfortunate. He did get that SAG nomination though. Although the Oscar 5 is really easy though. It's gonna be Del Toro. It's gonna be Elordi. It's gonna be Mescal. It's gonna be Penn. It's gonna be Stellan Skarsgård. It's easy. Any other snubs? They didn't longlist Jacoby Juke for Hamnet. This one's a little unfortunate, although I wasn't really expecting it, but no David Johnson for The Long Walk. He is British, so I was hoping they'd pull out for him, but they didn't. Interesting, father and son on the long list with Alexander Skarsgård and Stellan Skarsgård. Andrew Scott may be the sixth nominee. And interestingly, with Jay Kelly doing so bad, Sandler still managed to get the long list. He's the only long list for Jay Kelly. Although that movie's just so dead at this point, that's probably getting USAG. So yeah, easy top 5 for supporting actor. Pretty easy. Next, we can do casting next. Pull up my predictions so I know what missed, what didn't. Well, what didn't is obviously on the screen, but like I can only list here. But Frankenstein, Hamnet, House of Dynamite, I Swear, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Pelion, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Surat. So from the Oscar shortlist, they didn't do Weapons, they didn't do The Secret Agent, and they didn't do Wicked for Good. Instead, they did Dynamite, I Swear, and Pelion. So they did British movies. I kind of feel like I hope Weapons gets that Oscar nomination because they had cool casting with Amy Madigan and Carrie Christopher and all the other actors. I hope they don't just nominate their favorite movies and they actually nominate like the most interesting casting. But although like their favorite movies, that could also be the most interesting casting too. It's just they don't just nominate it because they love the movie. I hope for the Oscars. I kind of feel like the Oscars is going to be 6 of the picture movies, and they're just going to snub one of them. I'm thinking so. It's good. So I think Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and then just one of them is going to miss the Oscar. I kind of feel like it's going to be Sentimental Value that misses, but that could still get in. We'll just have to see. I feel like Wicked for Good is just not happening. But yeah, Sinners had a great day here. Very good. No mouse Caton though, but it had a great day. Yeah, that's it for casting. Cinematography is next. Pull my predictions to see what missed. One of my Oscar predictions for this. I'm not pulling in my BAFTA predictions. But Ballad of a Small Player, Begonia, Die My Love, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Train Dreams. So all the big stuff made it. The snubs are gonna be not important stuff. Nouvelle Vague's not there. Cinematography in that was okay, even though I didn't really like the movie very much. Wicked for Good's not there. That's pretty much all the big stuff made it. Like Wicked for Good was obviously never gonna get this. So yeah. I kind of feel like Marty Supreme with that ASC nomination, that's gonna get the Oscar nomination because it's Darius Konji. And I kind of feel like if the ASC is gonna nominate a veteran like that, the Oscars will probably follow suit. They may just snub Hamnet, which missed the ASC. I feel like Frankenstein hasn't missed. Obviously, Sinners and One Battle aren't missing. And then Train Dreams also hasn't missed. I also feel like Train Dreams even feels like the thing that would get nominated for cinematography without a picture nomination. But now, like we know, it's obviously getting nominated for that. It's going to get nominated for cinematography. I think the BAFTAs are going to nominate Hamnet, though, and I just don't know over what. Maybe over Marty Supreme. But we'll see. The dream lineup would be Marty Supreme and Hamnet. Well, I can't speak on Hamnet, although I did watch the trailers. The cinematography looks stunning. But the dream lineup would be no Frankenstein and just have One Battle, Sinners, Marty Supreme, Train Dreams, Hamnet. But Frankenstein is just too strong. I feel like, although it kind of underperformed here by not getting that director long list. Although everything else it got, it was pretty much expected to get. Cinematography. Now we're on to costume design. I get my predictions up. So yeah, Begonia, Downton Abbey, the grand finale, British. Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, Nouvelle Vague, Nuremberg, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Wicked for Good. No Ann Lee, obviously, that movie's just so dead. No Hedda, which is interesting. No Kiss of the Spider Woman. No The Secret Agent. So I think costumes, I think the obvious ones that are getting costumes are Frankenstein, Hamnet, Sinners, and Wicked for Good. Those are obvious. And then the fifth slot is going to be a Best Picture movie. It's going to be One Battle or it's going to be Marty Supreme. Marty Supreme can get in because it's a period movie, although One Battle, despite it being contemporary, it does have Colleen Atwood as the costume designer. And Bob Ferguson's look is pretty iconic with the red plaid robe and the sunglasses and the hat. So maybe that can get in off of just them really loving One Battle After Another. But Marty Supreme could happen too. I kind of feel like Hedda needed this, but the fact that it doesn't have that, I'm probably not going to predict that. Because that's probably the only Oscar nomination Hedda really has a shot in, but I feel like that doesn't have this. I'm probably just not going to predict it. Although I had it yesterday, but I feel like... Oh, interesting, as we're talking, they have that Ann Lee ad. How that movie's fallen. Interestingly, the movie Ann Lee has done the best at Critics' Choice than any of the other award shows because that got an actress nomination and it got a song nomination there. At the Golden Globes, it was just Amanda Seyfried. Didn't show up at all on the Oscar shortlist. It hasn't shown up at all at the Guilds. And it hasn't shown up at all on the BAFTA long list. So Ann Lee's really been a failure this whole season. Searchlight really fumbled with that movie. They fumbled with all their movies basically. Rental Family is the thing on. None of them happened. None of them. Editing is next. 28 Years Later, Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, A House of Dynamite, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Weapons. Interesting movie. Interesting pick. I mean, not mad about it. Weapons actually has really good editing, but interesting. Snubs. Sentimental Value is not here. Interesting. That's not here. I'm probably not going to predict that for the Oscar nomination. No Other Choice not there. That's probably gone for editing. Wicked for Good's not there. Accident's not there. Weapons, though, that's a pretty cool choice. Everything else major made it, so not that much to talk about. Obviously, the locks here are One Battle, Sinners, and Marty Supreme for the Oscars. I feel like F1's totally getting in. F1 might actually win the BAFTA for editing because they love their car movies, and F1 has cars. And despite that, probably like we don't know if that's gonna be a Best Picture nominee, but I feel like that's gonna get editing. It's been really strong for editing. But either it gets in like Baby Driver and Tick Tick Boom and I, Tonya did, or it's another First Man at Challengers. Both of those also won the Critics' Choice and missed the Oscar nomination. But we'll see. I feel like F1 is looking decent for editing. In the fifth slot, you can pick Frankenstein, you can pick Hamnet, you can pick Cinema Value. I'll leave that as a secret of what I have. So, yeah. It's pretty much everything I have to say for editing. Now it's moving on to makeup and hair. Begonia, Downton Abbey, the grand finale, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, Nuremberg, One Battle After Another, Sinners, The Smashing Machine, and Wicked for Good. Interestingly, that I find it interesting. 28 years later has had like a showing on these long lists. I think it got editing, it got screenplay. Oh, no, I didn't say it was going to win the Oscar. I said it was going to win the BAFTA. And the Oscars are going to go with One Battle After Another. But I think I find it interesting that 28 years later has gotten a few long lists here, but it couldn't get makeup. Interesting. Weapons isn't here. That's not on the Oscar shortlist either, but no Weapons. None of the weird movies that got on the Oscar shortlist are here. So no Kokuho, no Ugly Stepsister, and no Alto Nights. So, well, I guess Nuremberg kind of that's here, but Begonia, what's like the make? Well, I get, is it like the ending maybe? I won't spoil it for those who haven't seen it. Because Emma Stone's head, like they actually shaved her head. She wasn't just wearing a bald cap. So curious what the makeup and hairstyling is in that movie. But I'll take any Begonia love. I mean, I'm glad that it's done very well here on the long list. I think it deserves all the long lists it's gotten so far. So yeah, I'll take it. I think my goodness. So I accidentally clicked out of the StreamYard thing. Is my screen not even sharing? Damn. Okay. But yeah, I accidentally clicked like the X on the tab and I got clicked out. Yeah, we're still talking about makeup. I think it's gonna be maybe the Oscar 5, although the Oscar 5 they can pull like curveball. So I think Hamnet. No, I think Frankenstein. I think Sinners. Well, Frankenstein's winning. Sinners, Wicked, One Battle, Smashing Machine. I feel like that's going to be the BAFTA 5 as well as the Oscar 5, maybe. Maybe they can go for Hamnet if they really want to go for that. Although I'm wondering what the makeup and hairstyling is. No, One Battle can win editing because they have like the cars and they have like a lot of cuts, and it's a very long movie, but the pacing was very good, like, very like quick. So I kind of feel like that could win. F1 winning editing with a picture nomination would be pretty strange, in my opinion, but we'll see. Yeah, I think makeup it may be the same as the Oscar 5, unless the Oscar 5 they want to go with something random. But I kind of feel like that's going to be the BAFTA 5 with Frankenstein, Sinners, One Battle, Smash Machine, and Wicked. Next is score. Yes, next is score. 28 years later, The Ballad of Wallace Island, Begonia, great pick. Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, excellent pick. Nuremberg, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Wicked for Good. Obviously no Hamlet, but that wasn't surprising. Let's see what other things missed. Oh, F1 missed. F1, not there. No Hans Zimmer. No Surratt. Surratt's also not there. So 2 electronic scores not there. I kind of feel like the Oscar is either going to be Marty Supreme or it's going to be Begonia for the 5th slot. I honestly hope it's both of them and they snub Frankenstein, but they're probably not going to. Maybe Begonia has the edge because Marty Supreme is electronic scored. Last year the Oscar snubbed challengers and they've snubbed quite a few electronic scores in the past, so maybe Begonia has the edge. Begonia also Justin Fendricks, he just got nominated for Poor Things 2 years ago, and Begonia's score is very like Begonia score is super memorable, and it's not an electronic score, so I kind of feel like that could happen. Marty Supreme is very possible though, and I really want it to get in, but we'll see. Wicked for Good, I feel like that's not going to get a score nomination. However, I find it weird that like Wicked for Good got longlisted for score here, and the first Wicked movie didn't. And the first Wicked movie got the Oscar nomination for score. But I feel like this Wicked is just so weaker. Wicked 2 is so much weaker that they're just not going to nominate it for score again. Like even at the beginning of the year, that was one of the categories that I knew. That in editing, like I knew they just weren't going to touch Wicked again. Even back when I thought it was going to be a big Oscar contender. Now that we know it's not, then it's just like missing. Any other snubs here besides Sir on F1? Train Dreams isn't there, I guess, but yeah. But yeah, I feel like Sinners, One Battle, Frankenstein, Hamnet are all getting the Oscar nomination, and the 5th slot's going to be Marty Supreme, or it's going to be Begonia. I'll talk about all of this even more when my final predictions happen, which will be in 2 weeks, January 21st, I think, because nominations are on the 22nd. So I'm going to do my final predictions on the 21st. Next is Production Design. Ballad of a Small Player, Begonia, great pick. Fantastic Four for Steps, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, Mickey 17, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Wicked for Good. Any real misses here? Secret Agent's not there. Avatar: Fire and Ash isn't there. Obviously no Ann Lee, no Phoenician Scheme, no Sentimental Value. I think they have like a house in that movie, and apparently that's a big plot point, like a big part of the plot, but that didn't make it. So yeah, I kind of feel like Avatar: Fire and Ash is so dead. I feel like no, he's hit everywhere for Frankenstein, and for all of his movies that he's missed for, like they were all not like Midnight Sky is not a huge movie. French Dispatch was Wes Anderson, but wasn't really contending anywhere else except production design, but obviously that didn't get any Oscar nominations. And then he missed for Pinocchio, which won for animated feature, but they snubbed that like for every category except animated feature. Frankenstein's a big Oscar contender, so I kind of feel like they're still going to nominate him anyway. I hope no though. I hope it's Begonia, and I hope it's Marty Supreme for the 4th and 5th slot. But yeah, production design. I think the obvious locks here are Frankenstein, Hamnet, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, Sinner. I'd say Marty Supreme is close to a lock. Sinner's more so of a lock, but I think Marty Supreme makes sense. It's a period movie, and the 5th slot, I think it's either going to be they're either going to really love One Battle After Another and just give that a nomination. I kind of feel like a production design nomination would make a little more sense than costumes nomination. So if we got like costumes, I'd really think production design is probably coming along because they have like the Christmas Adventures headquarters, they have Bob and Willis house, they have like I feel like some of the sets are pretty memorable. Wicked for Good can happen, although I'm kind of getting Wakanda Forever and Gladiator 2 vibes from that. Or it could be Dune 2 and Mary Poppins Returns, where it's a sequel that gets in. I kind of feel like most of the sets are very like similar, are like the same as the first, except they have like the Alphabet's Tree Retreat, they have Glinda's room, they have Kiyomako the castle. But I kind of feel like One Battle makes sense as like a overperformance nominee, so I have that instead of Wicked. But Wicked would make sense. I have that at number 6. I'm kind of expecting Wicked to not have such a great Oscar turnout right now, but we'll go more into that when we get into my final Oscar predictions. So yeah. Best Special Visual Effects, Avatar: Fire and Ash, F1, Frankenstein, How to Train Your Dragon, Jurassic World Rebirth, The Lost Bus, Mickey 17, Superman, Tron Ares, and Wicked for Good. I don't even need my phone for this one because it's pretty much just the Oscar shortlist, except they didn't do Sinners and they didn't do The Electric State, so those two are not there. And then if we go beyond the shortlist, no Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning, no Fantastic Four, no Predator: Badlands. So yeah. Lost Bus. I kind of feel like that could show up at VES and Oscar maybe. I could see that having an interesting bake-off. I think I read an article like with some of the visual effects that they did in that movie, and it looks very impressive. So, or that could maybe that could be 13 Lives, although that could also be Deepwater Horizon. We'll see. I'm kind of not feeling Frankenstein for the Oscar nomination. I think it's gonna get here, but I'm not sure if that's gonna be the Oscar nomination because people have criticized the visual effects in that movie. Wicked for Good can happen, I guess, although also it can maybe miss. I kind of expect that to miss VES because the first movie didn't get Visual Effects Society. Oh, the first movie did get in here and then it got in at the Oscars, so. Kind of expect the BAFTA 5 to be Avatar, F1, Frankenstein, Superman, and Wicked. The Oscar locks are Avatar, F1, and Superman. And then the Oscar 5, I think to me those three, and I think maybe Sinners still has a shot because I think that could have like an interesting bake-off with how they did the technology to create smoke and stack. They also had like some scenes with fire. I think some of like the bangs and the and claws might have been visual effects as well. And I also read an article about how they did the visual effects in Sinners, and it looks interesting. Maybe it can get in despite the BAFTA longlist snub. And number 5, I think it's either going to be Wicked or it could be The Lost Bus. Tron Ares, the visual effects in that look pretty cool from the trailers. I haven't seen the movie because I don't really have any interest to watch that, but maybe I might watch that, but didn't really hear too many great things. And maybe like the reviews can prevent it from getting the Oscar nomination. I kind of expect VES to go for it because they love to nominate Disney stuff. They nominated Mufasa last year. They nominated Indiana Jones: Dial of Destiny the year before. So I can kind of see VES going for that. Although the Oscars have never nominated a Tron movie for visual effects, I'm not sure if this one's going to be the one to break that streak. So yeah. Still in Frankenstein. Maybe a lot of people are predicting that, but I feel like that's just Poor Things and Shape of Water, where it's a big Best Picture movie that doesn't get visual effects. And the visual effects in Frankenstein have been criticized, so I kind of feel like that's not happening. We'll see if any of these things are accurate when I do my final predictions in 2 weeks. Next category is sound. Is sound the last one? Yeah, pretty much the last one that counts. The other ones are just British shorts and stuff. Best sound: Avatar: Fire and Ash, Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, The Lost Bus, Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning, One Battle After Another, Sinners, Warfare, Wicked for Good. Heard the sound in Warfare is very good, so that's probably a great one there. Lost Bus, interesting. It's been a trend. The Oscars did this, and the BAFTA now did this. They did Mission Impossible in sound and not visual effects, which I guess kind of makes sense, but interesting. Yeah, no Surat. Surat's not there. So that means for the Oscar, I'll probably just do Avatar: Fire and Ash for the last slot. From the Oscar shortlist, no Springsteen and no Superman. So yeah, but so for my 5th slot in sound, I'm probably just gonna do Avatar, and I think already the ones that are already guaranteed are F1, Sinners, One Battle, and Frankenstein. I don't think Panay's done. I still think as long as Accident has enough passion for Best Picture, yeah. But Fanning's gone. Wagner's in trouble. I think if he loses the Golden Globe, if he wins the Golden Globe, I think he'll be fine, in my opinion. But I kind of feel like as long as Accident is still strong enough to get Best Picture, and the Academy feels enough passion towards it, they may still nominate Panay. Because I still feel like he makes a ton of sense for the director's branch. They love to nominate their international Cannes directors. But I kind of feel like the closest thing he's similar to is Ruben Östlund, who didn't get the BAFTA list. But I digress. Sound, is this for the Oscars? I think F1, Sinners, One Battle, Avatar, I think Frankenstein's gonna get in. I feel like Wicked's probably not happening. I feel like Surratt kind of needed this, but I'm not. I'm probably just gonna have Avatar. I get that, but who would miss from DGA? I have Del Toro missing from DGA, and I have Chloe Zhao missing from DGA. I don't feel great about leaving Chloe Zhao out. I have them both missing for Trier and Nai. I don't feel great about having Chloe Zhao, but I just kind of feel like Hamnet, when you compare it to like Marty Supreme and Sinners, I kind of feel like the passion for that's a little bit lesser than those two. But oh yeah, Warfare can get BAFTA, sound at BAFTA. That's actually very possible because it is a British movie. And that's a wrap for BAFTA Longlists, and we pretty much just have PGA left to talk about. So yes, and we can have a further discussion with Best Picture with these PGA nominations. So yeah, without further ado, let's just get right into it. Just waiting for it to load. Gladys jump scare. Anyway, let's see what PGA nominated. Unfortunately, they spoiled one of the nominees, but let's see what the other 9 are. There's 9 nominees. Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, Center, Changing Weapons. I think before getting into anything, let's go over documentary and animated. Well, no, I don't think you think documentary is on here, but animated. Let's talk about that. Bad Guys 2, Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, Infinity Castle, Elio, K-pop Demon Hunters, and Zootopia 2. So no indies, no Arco, and no Little Amelie. So that's the animated lineup. They just didn't do the indies. This 5 easy though. Let's just get right to Best Picture though, because that's where the bulk of our conversation is going to come in. The actor lineup at SAG they have gone 5 out of 5 multiple times. It just kind of depends. If he wins the Golden Globe, I feel like he's going to be fine. But if he loses the Golden Globe, I think he may be in danger. So yeah. But yeah, I already mentioned earlier the path that I think Secret Agent can have for Best Picture, and we'll talk about that again here. But yeah, for PGA, F1 and Weapons were the blockbuster nominees. They didn't nominate Avatar, Fire and Ash, and they didn't nominate Wicked for Good. Wicked for Good, without PGA, that's dead. That is gone. The copers are going to cope, but Wicked for Good is out of Best Picture. It's super dead. Maybe predict Ariana Grande if you want to, but that's the only chance the movie has for anything above the line. Best Picture, not happening. Couldn't get SAG Ensemble. Couldn't get Golden Globe nominations, although SAG Ensemble and no PGA. PGA missing it. That's huge. That's so done. Yeah, Wicked for Good is long gone. That's probably that and No Other Choice. The biggest, the 2 tuck-ins for today. The 2 movies that are getting tucked in. Could it? Maybe, but I'm not really sure. I'm not sure when the last time a summer blockbuster got in for Best Picture with just PGA. I mean, I know there's been lots of times where there's been late surges at PGA, like with Judas and the Black Messiah, Hidden Figures, American Sniper. But those movies came out very late. F1 came out during the summer. Didn't get nominated at like AFI or anything. So yeah. I think we have a solidified top 8 here. Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, Sinners, Train Dreams. Train Dreams getting in here as an indie movie is huge. It's absolutely getting it. Netflix is getting 2 movies this year with that and Frankenstein. We'll see if she sweeps Madigan. I kind of feel like SAG may actually happen now that Weapons has PGA. And it's probably going to get WGA as well. Although that's after Oscar nominations. But I kind of feel like if she loses BAFTA, she may be a little bit in danger. And if she loses SAG to like Tiana Taylor, she's gonna win the Oscar. What is the 9th movie that you think is locked? Is it Accident or is it something from the PGA lineup? Yeah, I think the top 8 minus F1 and Weapons are all locks. I'd still want to say it was just an accident again. That's obviously going to get nominated for screenplay. Debatable whether or not that gets director, but I feel like as long as it gets Best Picture, director, still very much possible. I think it'd be kind of strange for them to do 3 Neon movies for Best Picture and only 1 in director. So I feel like Pinari may still be fine, but we'll see. The big sign for me that it was just an accident's going to be okay, and that Secret Agent's going to be okay, is if Panahi gets that director nomination and Secret Agent gets that screenplay nomination. I mean, I guess it can get picture without screenplay, but screenplay would really seal the deal that it's getting in. And I'm gonna say once again what I think Secret Agent's package could be for a Best Picture nomination. So Wagner Moura, we think he's a little bit in danger because he missed the BAFTA longlist today, right? He has a Critics' Choice nomination, and he had a Critics' Choice nomination, and he had a Golden Globe nomination. Like Secret Agent had a really strong showing at the Globes, got drama picture, got drama actor, got international feature, and I feel like that drama picture nomination can propel Moura to a win. If Moura loses, it's probably gonna be like Michael B. Jordan or whatever. But I still think Wagner Moura makes a ton of sense to win. They gave it to Fernanda Torres last year, and she also interestingly missed the BAFTA long list, but she still made the Oscar category, the Oscar 5. And I think Moura is stronger than her because he got the Critics' Choice nomination. So here's the thing. I think Torres, I'm going to talk about how I think I'm Still Here got nominated for Best Picture real quick. Torres won the Golden Globe. So she won the Golden Globe. And her win and her speech propelled Academy voters to see the movie, and it propelled, and once they watched the movie, they loved it, and it propelled them to vote for the movie in Best Picture, and that's how it got nominated for Best Picture. It probably benefited from having a good amount of #1 votes. I think The Secret Agent, if Wagner Moura wins the Golden Globe drama actor, I think that means he gets the Oscar nomination, first of all. But it also means it's going to propel Academy voters to watch The Secret Agent. And if they watch Secret Agent and love Secret Agent, if you're propelled to give that #1 votes, I think that's going to get nominated for Best Picture. And it could get screenplay as well. I feel like there is an open slot in screenplay. I guess it could be Weapons, or it could be Blue Moon or something. But I feel like Secret Agent also makes a lot of sense, especially if it gets in Best Picture. So after today, you can't deny Train Dreams. I feel like because that Critics' Choice and PGA, and I think that has to be in, especially because it's locked for adapted screenplay. Yeah, if Secret Agent gets nominated, I think that's its path. Moura winning, him giving a good speech, and his speech is going to direct Academy voters, propel them to watch the movie, Secret Agent. And if they watch it and love it and give it enough #1 votes, it gets the nomination. That's why I also think Accident still has a shot, because I also feel like Accident could benefit from #1 votes. So, yeah. So my current Best Picture predictions for now, I'm going to go alphabetical. Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, It Was Just an Accident, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Train Dreams. So yeah, that's pretty much what on my long live stream. Yeah, we went over an hour. I kind of thought we would, but interesting. You're gonna hear a lot of the same stuff. Hope probably next week. My predictions aren't definitely not final. Next week we have VES nominations. Although next week I'm probably not doing any live streams. All my live streaming was done this week. Tomorrow I'm going to be going live with my Golden Globe winner predictions. And then either Sunday I'm going to film my reactions to the winners, which probably won't be a live stream. It'll probably just be a normal video. Or because I may not be available on Sunday, so just in case I'm not, I'm probably going to do a winner discussion, a live stream just like this one, the next day on Monday. So that'll probably be my only live stream next week if it happens. But aside from that, I'll probably take a 1-week break from YouTube, come back on Wednesday the 21st for final Oscar nomination predictions. That'll probably be an over-hour live stream as well. And then the next day it's going to be Oscar nominations. Unfortunately, I'll be back in school at that point. I've been out of school for over a month, pretty much. By the time, no, I've been out of school since December 19th. No, 18th. The 18th was my last day. I've been out of school since the 18th, and I'm still out, but I come back on the 21st. And on the 22nd, I'm going to be there from 8:30 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon, 4:15 in the afternoon. So I probably won't even be able to do a nomination reaction until like 5 p.m. maybe. It's going to be late, but I'm going to try to avoid spoilers all day, and then I'll come back. And when I do my live stream, I'm not even going to look at the comments because there'll probably be some spoilers there. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.